Get a focus. Click the links to get a hold of me. Disney losing money. Gee, I can't imagine why. If you don't like the story, just create your own. That is what is cool about Comicsgate and social media in general. With a $100 phone, you can make your own entertainment without the mainstream soy. Gina Carano signs up to Parler, Commies Get Triggered. That's probably the title. They think it's a right-wing echo chamber. I can't comment on Twitter because I got kicked off again, because Twitter is a left-wing echo chamber. So we go to Gab and Parler, which for some reason scares them. They don't want us to have free expression because they believe free expression is for Nazis. That doesn't really help their argument because I am on the side that supports free expression. Plus, Hugo Boss makes cool uniforms. Gina Carano wears Hugo Boss. Hippies mad. Yeah, that should work. First of all, the Mando is overrated. It doesn't know if it's for kids or adults. Not enough of A New Hope and too much Ewok, though I admit that I did love the Jedi. Yoga? Yes, Yoda, Baby Yoda is adorable, but I assume that he was just going to be in an episode or two. But they know that they'll make more money in toy sales than in the show itself, which means the show will suffer, but money talks, and Disney really needs money right now. Speaking of which, Disney is in a bit of financial trouble. The Wu Flu has destroyed the theme park's revenue. Then you combine that with the films that have underperformed due to insanely developmentally disabled levels of wokeness, and you have a loss. It seems like the park was subsidizing Disney's crappy shows. And then they had the Star Wars exhibit, I forgot the name of it, which underperformed because the movies were a United Colors of Bennington horror show. And they also underperformed, especially when you consider that they paid Lucas billions for them. And then they managed to screw it up. For some crazy reason, people were not into Rey, Finn, and Poe, so the movies were soft hits, and people were not enthusiastic about the park. But gee, you can build a lightsaber. I don't want one, because the movie sucked. Even if the movie was good, why would I want a lightsaber? The movie sucked because Rey was a god, and a female one, who should be making babies with Poe in the kitchen or something. Speaking of which, there was no romance in the... Did anyone else notice that? You had 6 prior movies with romance. The original trilogy and the prequels. Romance. It seemed like romance was a pretty important storyline. So what happened to Disney? Which you'd think Disney would be pretty good at throwing in some adorable romance because they've got, 80 years of making cutesy cartoons. But there was no romance in the Disney trilogy. And my theory is that feminism and romance just don't work together that well. This would be like Cara Dune joining the Empire. The ones who were okay with blowing up planets and enslaving people. This is not the way. Just descending into a conspiracy theory echo chamber. Very unfortunate. You'll be missed. It's a TV show. You guys are talking about movies. Star Wars was great, but come on. Live your life. So Gina Double D Carano won't use pronouns and signed on to Parler, which is very similar to Twitter, but with more free expression. The Twitter SJWs who are not on Parler say that it's absolutely a far-right echo chamber, not realizing Twitter is a far-left echo chamber. Most well-balanced people don't care what platform you use or who you voted for. Oh, you're right of center, I'm left of center, so, my guy won this time and your guy will win next time. Let's go have a beer. That's how it used to be before Trump derangement syndrome and social media. Social media has allowed mentally ill people to share their views, and the insanity is spreading because Twitter allows the left wing to bully the right wing, and over the years that power has corrupted people or revealed that you can be a sociopath on Twitter as long as you're a left-wing one. You end up with these idiots with smartphones who want to destroy someone's life because they believe pride is a sin, or pronouns are a sign of mental illness, or even if they use alt tech like Gab, Parler, and Bitchute. Let me clue you into the difference between Bitchute and YouTube. If you're either in Comicsgate or anywhere right of center, you'll grow faster on Bitchute simply because the algorithm is honest, and there's no censorship or complaint department for Bitchute. I've never had my videos age restricted or deleted on Bitchute. I'm growing faster on Bitchute than on YouTube, which should be mathematically impossible. In fact, probably in a couple of months, my Bitchute is going to outpace my YouTube, which I think YouTube is probably 1,000 times the size of Bitchute. But YouTube will punish you. And it doesn't matter so much for me. It's just for fun, though obviously even if you're doing this for fun, you want people to be able to listen to you and give you feedback. That's what's fun about YouTube. But if this is your business or your part-time business, you're making money, you've got a financial interest in this, you're probably getting really pissed off. Zach and EVS, who love them or hate them, are legitimately talented at making enjoyable content. They've been stuck at their levels for a year. That is not organic. That is YouTube being a bitch to them, because they probably have people who are sending in just nonsense complaints to them nonstop because of their names. And that relates to Gina Carano, because if the left-wing sociopaths don't like you because you're a moderate or slightly right of center, or because you have an edgy sense of humor, which, I'm actually not that far right, but I do believe in free expression, and I believe everything is on the table. Everything. But I'm not big enough to get bullied by social justice warriors, so it's not an issue for me. They can hurt your ability to feed your family. The commies on Twitter want Gina Mommy Milkers to get fired simply because she's on Parler. And let me just say, while I am on Gab and Parler and all the others, I trust Gab a lot more than Parler. Parler blew up so fast, and the buzz around it does not feel organic for what it is. I get the feeling that if it goes mainstream, then it will be just as censorious as Twitter. Gab's founding dogma is free expression. It's a whole different vibe. Like, the whole vibe between Parler and Gab is different. They're both, Parler, Gab, and Twitter are all basically the same thing. But Parler has so much behind it that something is wrong. It just smells fishy. But you should have the right to go on any platform you want without getting blacklisted. These Twitter kids have learned that they can start hate campaigns against people and get billion-dollar companies to bend to their wills. But the SJWs have influence disproportionate to their numbers, because they're on Twitter for hours a day. They get home from work, they get a glass of wine, and they might get on Twitter for 4 hours. So big companies see all this action, and they think that that is the direction the culture is going. But it's something like 80% of the tweets are from 20% of the users, who are basically women with cats who drink too much, or teenagers with a lot of time on their hands. It's 2020. But we have political commissars like in Russia or China. We had more free expression 20 years ago than we do now. The people who say that Gab, Telegram, and Parler won't be able to compete with Twitter seem to forget all about MySpace. Okay, and let me just fluff this video out for another 1 minute to get to the magical 10-minute algorithm. So these are people who are complaining about Parler and Gab and all these Bitchute D-Love stuff. They've never been there. And just some reasonable person says, from the way people are reacting, I take it you're all invoking Beelzebub and sacrificing virgins over there. Calm down, folks. It's just another app. Yeah, the only difference is there's a little bit more free speech on Parler than there is on Twitter. Have you ever been on it? It's most definitely not just another app. You haven't shown any evidence that it's anything else other than an app. You just had a pithy comment. I would join Parler, but they don't allow Mexicans past their security wall. Dun, 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 dun. It's not Mexicans, it's just you because you're a douchebag. It doesn't make any sense. Your comment doesn't make any sense. Anyone can join Parler. You're just, these people are parrots. They hear the I don't know, the cultural zeitgeist, and they just parrot it because they think it's going to get them some kind of dopamine. I'm so sorry to hear that you've gone this route. Good luck to you, but you have officially lost this fan. Because she's on an app that's not Twitter. Again, I can't respond. And I recognize some of these names because a lot of them are in Comicsgate. I can't respond because I got kicked off Twitter. And, oh, well, you probably said something. Well, it doesn't matter what I said. It's like if you get kicked off Twitter or any social media platform, you're suspended forever. Does that seem... Oh, well, just don't be a monster. Yeah, but we're not monsters. We just have a sense of humor that doesn't align with Twitter's far left values. So we're permanently banned forever. Doesn't that seem a little weird? Doesn't that seem a little authoritarian? Remember in the 60s and 70s when Berkeley was, there's that famous photograph of they're marching for free speech. And then in 2015, they're back in Berkeley. They're marching against free speech. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I will see you over on Bitchute. Or Instagram, or I don't know. Parler, Gab. Gab's a lot of fun. All right, guys.